Okay, so another skip the line reaction. This one is for Campbell Cravens, man. I'm so glad you're back to the channel, and I appreciate that you requested a skip the line reaction. There is a message to this, so I thought I'd just read it to you. Not sure if any of you are familiar with the Run the Jewels or not. I'm actually not familiar with them, but these guys are legends. Their music is more hardcore hip-hop than most songs on your channel, so I hope you still like it. Probably will. The duo is made of ELP, the white rapper, and produced Extraordinaire, Killer Mike, a rap god. This song is especially powerful, poignant, and political. It was released on an album and came out 8 days after George Floyd's death, but was written and recorded in 2019. Killer Mike's verse shocked people in its relevancy upon release. I chose a live version of the song so you could get a peek under the hood into these guys and how talented these guys are. Don't worry about the quality, it's amazing. The song also features Gangsta Boo from the Six Mafia. Don't know any of these people that you're mentioning over here, so I'm very excited to see what we got here, who sadly passed away at the beginning of this year. Hope you enjoy. Okay, awesome. This sounds super interesting, man. And just before we get started, guys, if you guys want to request skip the line reactions, you can request that on the sphere. I'm leaving the link in the pinned comment. Skip the line reaction booking form opens every single Monday. There's only 8 slots available, and for a fee you can skip the entire line. It takes precedent over everything, and then your reaction will be scheduled for the coming weekend. After 8 slots are booked, it completely closes. If you don't want to do that, you can subscribe to the channel and request a priority reaction, which will take priority over everything else. Obviously not over skip the line, because skip the line is above everything. But the likelihood of your reaction being done is like 99%. It's the only place I'm taking reaction requests from. So for a small fee, you can support the channel and you can join the sphere, and then you can also watch so much, a plethora of different content that is going to be populated on that thing on the actual website every single day. So really is cool. You can go take a look at that. Link is in the pinned comment. Let's go, man. Run the Jewels, walking in the snow. Let's go. Play. Come in.
A dirty code to go, been cold since cold flow. Got a wire or two on Elijah and I'll set a fire down below. I hang it up when you say sorry, I didn't know. Probably got a year 10 to go, so let's go. I don't really know how to go slow. Got done walking in the snow. Goddamn, that motherfucker's cold. Raw mode, you open and close, you know.
That's a bar. They got him walking in the snow. Goddamn, that motherfucker's cold. That's a very cool bar.
Walking in the snow. Goddamn, that motherfucker's cold. You want a raw mode, you open and close, you know, holes and no go. So world's a shit mode, filled to the brim like Gitmo. When you think it don't get.
This whole world's in shit mo, filled to the brim like Gitmo. Damn fucking straight. No, a truer line has not been spoken.
So world's a shit mo, filled to the brim like Gitmo. When you think it don't get more low, and then both to the sticks on flow. All the questions born of lies, I don't make the rules, I'm just one guy.
Hey.
Respected getting spit on, how respect is now defined. But you got screwed and drank the Kool-Aid. There's a line, and then directly at the edge of a mass grave, that's their design. Funny fact about a cage, they're never built for just one group. So when that cage is built for them, and you.
Funny fact about a cage is that it was never built for just one roof. Ooh, says that cage can be built for anyone. The system decides who gets put in the cage. Right? So yes, there's rules, there's laws and regulations and things like that, but it's still designed by the system. Alright? Where it's like there's multiple roofs. Any of you can be put in a cage. The only people that can't be put in the cage are the elites. The only people that can't be put in the cage are the ones that pretty much run the system. Right? That's very cool. I like that. It's like don't feel that you're safe because there's, you know, all these laws and things like that. Right? I like the way he's done it. You can feel this is it's politically driven song.
Funny fact about a cage, they're never built for just one group. So when that cage is done with them and you still pouring, go for you. You was lowest on the totem, but golly gee, you haven't used. You have to fuel the death machine that down the line will kill you too. Pseudo Christians, y'all are different. Kids in prisons ain't a sin shit. Even one scrapper with Jesus talk connected, you feel different.
Hey.
way to piss away existence. I don't get it. Say you lost your goddamn minds if y'all possess one to begin with.
Don't walking in the snow.
Goddamn that motherfucker cold.
Just got done walking in the snow.
Goddamn that motherfucker cold.
Just got done walking in the snow.
Goddamn that motherfucker cold.
Just got done walking in the snow. Goddamn that motherfucker
This
cold.
feels very, very, very sort of like 90s and early 2000s for me. It sounds, it gives me that. It's not a direct correlation, obviously, but it gives me like BRG vibes. It gives me Wu-Tang vibes. It gives me Black Eyed Pea vibes. You know what I mean? Very, 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 very cool. This is taking me back.
Yeah, ho, run the jewels. Gangsta boo, we back at it again. And it's cold as fuck.
The way I see it, you probably free is from the age of 1 to 4. Around the age of 5, you shipped away for your body to be stored. They promise education, but really just give you test and scores. They predict the prison population by who's scoring the lowest.
They predict the prison population by who's. So he's basically saying this is what I said in the beginning. This is the system. The system defines all of this. Right? They can already predict the prison population by the lowest scores. Right? The people that have got the least acumen. Right? The people that are effectively useless in society as seen by the system. Right? There's winners and losers, and these winners and losers are picked by the system, essentially, right from when you are a child. They can already see your trajectory. They can see who they can use. They can see who they can't use. Right? I like what he actually said there, because there is obviously an immense truth to that, right? And the system is not effectively designed, specifically the education system, which is a complete travesty, to cater for. It's not effectively designed to cater for people who don't really kind of fit in the academic mold. Some people just aren't good with that, and they're deemed to be stupid. And it kind of goes back to Einstein saying, where it's like, if you're going to judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, he's going to live the rest of his life thinking that he's stupid, right? Like thinking that he's not worthy because he doesn't kind of fit. Like fishes will never be able to climb a tree, but what a fish does really well is swim. But no one's talking about how he swims. No one's talking about the water that fish is in the schools. They're only talking about the trees and how high you can climb, right? But if I can't climb it, then I'm out of the conversation. So I really like what he's saying over there. Let's go.
Lowest scores, the poorest, and they look like me. And every day on the evening news, they feed you fear for free. And
that's
you so
fucking
numb,
true.
You watch the cops.
That's fucking true, dude. That's so true, man. Every day on the news, they're feeding you fear for free, man. Fearmonger, 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 fearmonger. They need you to be scared. Because if you're scared, you hand over the power. If you're scared, you're like, please help me. You know, they fearmonger and say, don't worry, guys, we know how to fix it. All you got to do is just give us more power to enact more policies that don't work. And when those policies fail, all we need is for you to give us more power, or else this will happen for us to fix this situation. And so you go on that stupid political merry-go-round. They're never solving anything, but they're always making you fearful of something else. There's always a boogeyman. There's always a Hitlerian figure. There's always a climate change crisis. There's always a pandemic crisis. There's always this. They'll never let it go. They've got to keep you on this. And it's not to say that there aren't legitimacies to these things, but they use these things specifically to fearmonger to you, to actually keep you at this heightened level all the time, so that you can hand over emergency powers to them, so that they can enrich themselves through their policies. Be very careful of what these people are doing and what the media is currently doing. And that's basically the Praetorian Guard for the establishment. That's what they've become. No media outlets is anymore. It's trustworthy anymore. They're just all a big joke. Use your critical thinking. Go out, source that information for yourself, and actually literally listen to left and right, and then make your own assessment. Because the media's gone down the drain. The whole world is basically circling the drain at this point. But it's important to realize how you're being played for a pawn.
By who's scoring the lowest. And usually the lowest scores, the poorest, and they look like me. And every day on the evening news, they feed you fear for free. And you so numb, you watch the cops choke out a man like me. Until my voice goes from a shriek to whisper, I can't breathe.
It's obviously the George Floyd thing, what happened with George Floyd, which was indeed a travesty. The thing with George Floyd, where obviously it's a travesty that it happens to any man with a plethora of criminal records or not, right? A life lost is still a tragedy either way, because there's a story behind that life. And yes, people go down dark avenues and people go down good avenues, and we do obviously prioritize victims over criminals. But criminals in themselves also, there are elements of the argument that you can understand as to why they may also be victims, although I don't feel that they should be highlighted as such, because you kind of like, you're perpetrating a culture of it's okay to be a victim, it's okay to be a criminal, and that you can justify that life, that kind of life, essentially. So absolutely not. The one thing what I don't like about what politicians do is they will take something like a George Floyd and they will completely exploit that as if they care. They do not give a shit. And I'll tell you why they do not give a shit. Because George Floyd was in the position that he was in, right, due to policies and due to cultural aspects that nobody cared to attend. No politician cares to attend the killings in the ghetto. No politicians care to attend the murders that are being carried out in Chicago and all the inner cities. No politician cares about that, right? But they'll cherry pick one so that they can put it out into the open, dangle it like a carrot, and then get everybody fighting over. They take that purely to be divisive. Those politicians, those governments couldn't give a damn about George Floyd's death. They don't care. They care to exploit his death, right, for political points. And that's what I really cannot stand, because the tragedy of George Floyd, right, could have been prevented by policy. It could have been prevented by getting people like that off the street, giving them the help that they need, getting them the jobs and giving them the proper social safety nets that they need. Putting schools in the ghetto, trying to end criminality in the ghettos. But to go there and be like, okay, I'm going to dangle this guy in front of you because it's this guy. Forget about the thousands of others that are getting shot every year in Chicago and the inner cities. Don't worry about those. Those people, innocent children, mothers, daughters, no one cares, right? Let's take this guy because this was recorded and this we can use, right? And then use that as a talking point, as a political play to defund the police. Defunding the police gets more people killed. It's just so stupid to even say something like that. How can you say, oh no, we should defund the police because of a case like that? It's like, no, we should be putting reforms in police in the sense that these sort of things don't happen, that they are dealt with more professionally, right? But the idea that you even go there and defund the police, you know who suffers with defunding the police? The inner cities and the people that need them most. Those are the people that suffer with you defunding the police. Those are the people, those kind of areas need more policing. They need better policing. They need more social services. They need more educational services. They need so many things that they do not get from the same politicians that are exploiting a man's death. They don't get from the same politicians that are sitting there and virtue signaling to you and saying on how this is terrible. It's like, yes, but you could have changed this, but you didn't. And this is how we land up with people on the street taking drugs and committing crimes because they literally have no other way to survive in the ghettos. They have no other way because everyone's just forgotten about them. Right? So it starts with the politicians. And this is what I completely hate about it, is because they'll leave out everything else. It's a very nuanced topic that no one wants to talk about. They want you to just go black and white and they want you to pick sides. But it's a very nuanced topic. It's a very in-depth, complex issue that we should all be pointing at politicians and saying, wait a second, why was this man with a rap sheet of like 40 different crimes on the street, drugged out of his mind? And sure, people make make bad decisions. Lots of people make bad decisions, but it's becoming an epidemic of it, right? Because these people they're not given the correct guidances. The current idea right now is to do away with churches, to do away with the nuclear family, to say that a father's not needed in the home, to say that a child can be brought up with whoever, to say that abortion at any stage in the process is perfectly fine. You can chase decadences and hedonism, and I mean, like, does that really help the inner cities? Does that really help the people that need it most? And this is the problem: is that they're so disingenuous with the message of like, oh no, an innocent man died by the hands of police. Yes, but the innocent man was put in that position because of your failed fucking policies. It's your fault he was like that. It is your fault. And yes, of course, he has to take accountability for his own actions too, right? But you are creating more of this so that you create more pawns for your political game. That is what I have an issue with. I really do have an issue with. And then a movement that sprouts out of that takes millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars from corporates, right, playing into their empathy and playing into their guilt, to take millions of dollars and to do absolutely nothing for a black community but enrich themselves. It's all just a bullshit political play. It's all just a bullshit political play. And that goes into the same line that he said every single day on the news, they're feeding you fear. Exactly on this topic as well. They are feeding you fear. And the elites are perpetuating this and pushing this because they're isolating an incident like this and not talking about the real issues that caused this. Let me not carry on. Anyway.
And you sit down, house on couch, and watch it on TV. The most you give a Twitter rant, call it a tragedy. But truly the travesty, you've been robbed of your empathy. Replaced it with apathy. I wish I could magically fast forward the future so then you can face it and see how fucked up it'll be. I promise I'm honest, they coming for you the day after they coming for me. I'm reading Chomsky, I'm Rukowski, I'm laying low for a week. I said something on behalf of my people and I popped up in WikiLeaks. Thank God that I'm covered, the devil can't smother, cause you know the evil don't sleep. Dick Gregory told me
the apathy he talks about over here is like, okay, you just see this and you have no empathy for the man. Anybody who's a human being with a heart is going to have empathy for a man that has died under the knee of a police officer, right? Anybody with a heart is going to be like, that's heavy. He shouldn't have lost his life for that. I mean, that's just essentially. Right, but the apathy that he's talking about is they try to make you apathetic to every other. Don't even try to make you apathetic to every other issue. They try to they try to completely isolate the real problems of these issues and take them out of sight from you, because the moment they bring the real issues into it, it will immediately highlight that the government and the political elites are the ones that have caused all of this, are the ones that could have fixed this, and they've caused all of this. These people send billions abroad for wars. Billions. They spend billions on wars. Billions. Wars that they shouldn't even be involved in. And these politicians spend billions and try and make you feel patriotic about it, while they can't put those same billions into the communities that need them to prevent situations like this. So people have better lives, into education, into churches, into building a sense of community. They don't do that. Those policies aren't driven around that. And then you've got all these elites coming around and saying, oh no, it's like you've lost your empathy. It's all now apathy. It's apathy across the board. It's apathy even from the damn elites, because you're playing into their game. Why aren't you calling out the policies that have failed you? They win every single fucking time because we keep taking that damn carrot. We keep getting used by these politicians, and we keep taking that damn carrot and playing on that one issue and not looking at the broader problems that are plaguing the inner cities in the United States, that could be solved with billions of dollars that are being pushed into wars and murder for absolutely no reason.
the secrets before he lay down in the grave. All of us serve the same masters. All of us nothing but slaves. Never forgetting the story of Jesus, the hero was killed by the state.
Just got done walking in the snow. Goddamn that motherfucker cold. Just got done walking in the snow.
Goddamn that motherfucker's cold.
Just got done walking in the snow.
Goddamn that motherfucker's cold.
Just got done walking in the snow. Yeah.
Who really wanna run it with the jewel runners? Go hellfire hot in the cruise summer. It's a cold winter, baby, and a cruise summer. I suicide bomb in the blue Hummer. And the birds had to find out the bruise on them.
Bad news coming Tucson. Treat beats like a wet dot chew on 'em. Got a stroke real cool on 'em, move on 'em.
We be the heroes and breakers, the lane and the bus and the locks. You be the sucker supporting the stitches that talk to the cops.
Hey, diplomatic attorney and facing a fucking far cry.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure opportunity's knocking, it's probably the law.
Word to the old school tape deck. I get radio Raheem be stick. My Nike pin is sacred. Similar to the Ghostface bracelet.
Fire in the hole, oh no joke. Proud to go broke, just all smoke. Fuck are we gonna do? Not smoke. Play the job for the role, be a dose. Nah, I'ma do me, arigato.
Arigato.
First of all, they cheating. Cause they're one of them black and the other one white. So if you don't like them, you automatically racist.
I like that. I actually really did like that. Obviously, I hijacked it a little bit again because when it comes to these political things, I like to give my opinions on them. So I apologize about that. But again, not that any elites or any of these guys would be watching a channel like this and watching, you know, what I have to say. But they've also got to be very careful in terms of how they play the narrative. And we've already got the media as the Praetorian Guard for the state, right? As he says. So we've already got the media that's the Praetorian Guard for the state. We've got to be very careful that our artists, the people that are supposed to be conveying a message to society, do not become the Praetorian Guard for the state as well by sort of like reading off the same script, right? There needs to be a deeper analysis into this and not have these isolated issues put in the forefront to cause division. Because that is exactly what the politicians want you to do. Exactly. They only want you to know the names that they want you to know. Every other name that has died, but because of their policies, in cities like Chicago and the inner cities in New York and things like that, all those other innocent people who died brutally, right, at the hands of gangs and violence and all of that, and they're dying daily and they're dying weekly and they're dying monthly and they're dying yearly by the hundreds and by the thousands, and you don't know a single one of their names, and it's by design. They cherry pick names so that they can put it to the forefront, so that you can focus on something, so that you can ignore the peripheries of a mountain of failed policies that have caused these issues. I'm done now. Let me know what you think down below. I'll catch you on the next one.